Good morning. Just going to go through with you how to tie the perfect air rig for feeder fishing. This is for presenting pellet and slightly longer tails for meat. Incorporates a 12-eyed hook and a micro band, for those little tiny micro bands, which are ideal for presenting small pellets on the feeder. You could actually put maggots into that band as well, a bunch of dead maggots or castor. So it's quite a versatile band, this. In this case I'm going to be tying it to a metre of 019 power line, which is a good durable choice of line for fishing the 7. So to start off, we'll tie the micro band into a tiny loop. It's a little bit fiddly, but you'll soon get used to this when you've done it a few times. Tie that in there, like so. The smallest possible band you can. Wet that up. A single loop, not in a figure of 8. It only needs to be a single loop. I'm not tying this particularly for strength. So that's what we have there. So the band is inside a tiny loop, if you can see that. What I always do with the line is straighten it out. Just run it through my fingers like that. That straightens the line out. So I think it warms the line slightly. So it goes nice and limp, it's not all coming into coils. So there we have the band, ready for the hook to be tied on. I'm going to use a knotless knot, incorporating one of my favourite hooks, which is a B911X. It's a camisole hook, eyed. Start off, we put the line, the end of the metre line through the eye, like so. Pull that down to our band. Now the band needs to sit just on roughly the bottom of the hook, like so. And the key with this is to whip down the shank and over that small loop knot. So whip down the shank as we normally would with a knotless knot. This one with 15 turns. So just whip down, down, down. I've now reached the knot. Go over the knot. Put a couple of turns in, just over it as well. I've now virtually whipped all the way down the shank of the hook. 15 turns. Back through the eye, it's always fiddly bit this, not needed glasses. Sometimes the line is doubled up, it can be a little bit tricky with thicker line to get back through the eye. Just hold on to the through. There we have that. So tighten that up and pull that now. And what we've got is the band sitting against the bottom of the shank. I don't know if you can see that there. It's actually whipped over that loop knot. Now the reasoning behind that is that knot won't slip. Sometimes what can happen is the band will pull off a single overhand loop, but it won't there because it's trapped under the line on the shank. You can just see that. What you can see is there's a really secure hold. Now that there is a 12 hook. I could present any bait from a 4mm pellet right the way up to probably 10mm with that. Or I can expand that band with a pellet banding tool and drop 3 or 4 dead maggots into that loop, into that pellet band, sorry. It's another good way of air rigging the maggots, so they're not masking the point of the hook. It's a real good tip for you there for fishing feeder in winter. Might be leaving it out there for 5-10 minutes at a time. You'll know your hook bait's there and intact. Also seems to repel the attentions of small fish if you use that technique. So there we have it. So we've got a metre long, length of 0.19, and we'll just tie this time a figure of 8 on the end. Just a normal figure of 8 loop. We're ready then to drop that hook onto our hook length spool. I carry the foam spools, keep them in a nice box, neat and tidy and dry. I can tie up hundreds of hook lengths when I've got time and keep them all nice and safe and secure. And I'm ready to go now. That's it, match prepared for a feeder peg.